I really hope that most of this video will not include construction noises, but it might, so bear with me. Hopefully it won't. Sorry if it does. It's not ideal, I know. So I think you clicked on this video because you're an artist, you're a creator, you are an entrepreneur, and you are trying to streamline your processes. You are trying to get to a point where things are not so overwhelming. When we are creative, when we are kind of doing our own thing, following an unorthodox path, it can be so overwhelming because there are so many things that can be done. I feel for me, there's constantly new things I could be doing. I finish one task and then the new one comes, or, you know, I complete one sort of big project and then I know that in order to kind of get to where I want to be, I have to kind of keep going. I mean, for example, I'm about to reach 10K on TikTok and I know that's only the beginning. It's just part and parcel of the process. It's just one of those things that when you're an entrepreneur or you're a creator, like, you are constantly inundated with tasks and you need to have good processes. You need to have mechanisms in place that make your life easier, that help you grow and help you exponentially and sort of fast track your success. Because trust me, like, I feel like I've been dilly-dallying for a really long time. I started my entrepreneurial journey when I was like 21, and I've had several businesses since then, and I've never really been able to get one to click because through mental health problems, or because I get demotivated, or because I rely on motivation, which is fleeting, or because I just don't have good habits and good processes in place. I feel like if I knew all this stuff before, when I was 21, I would be living my best life right now. Like, not that I'm not, but you know, it's not the goal that I want to be at right now. Like, I'm not there yet. So these are my 5 big tips to help you help yourself. They are here to help you help yourself. What I mean by that is that they help you, your future self out, especially when you're first starting out. You're the salesperson, you're the accountant, you're the marketer, you're the designer, you're absolutely everything. You have to have a knowledge and, you know, keep your receipts, you know, keep your accounts, like, have these spreadsheets up and running to help yourself out. And this is what I'm going to talk to you about today. My first one is albumize everything. Especially if you're a content creator, albumize all of your content into various different albums on your phone. For example, obviously I have my lifestyle content, I have my, you know, face-to-face sort of talking on the camera content, I have my YouTube content. I also have things like images, you know, things I want to turn into pictures, reels, carousels, and also just inspo. Like, I have so many folders of YouTube inspo, talking to the camera inspo, lifestyle inspo, travel inspo, fashion inspo, and I need to have that all in one place so that when I need to make content on the fly, because obviously we all know being consistent is so important when it comes to doing what you want to do. You have to be putting yourself out there, like, on a consistent basis. Being able to just pull that from an album and just be able to make something really quickly and then post it is fantastic. This applies to all sorts of entrepreneurs as well. You know, albumize your inspiration for your design or creativity. You know, what you're going to take inspiration from. Say if you're a creative director or photographer or graphic designer, have that inspo. Also make sure you're just having all your clients' content in one place, so that if a client says to you in a year's time, oh, actually, do you have this piece of content? I've lost it. You can look back and be like, yeah, it's here, and send it to them. You know, those kind of things are so important. You stress yourself out so much if you do not help yourself out in this way, not albumize things. I, up until literally recently, just had all my content scattered all over the place, and I spent 2 or 3 days organizing it. I burnt myself out on this weekend just trying to albumize everything. So don't do that. Do it as you go. Don't do it in one go if you can help it. Maybe do it once a week, once a month, and set a day for it, but try and do it on the go. Every time I make a new video and I save it to my phone, I immediately put it in my short form folder. Because when I want to repost it, or when I want to, you know, support myself and help myself out in the future by having content in my back pocket, it's there. And I don't have to go through like 50, like, oh my God, on my camera roll, I recently found out I had like something like 60,000 pieces of content on my phone. Who has time to sort through that? Nobody. Do yourself a favor and albumize everything and help yourself out. It also doesn't have to be restricted to content. Albumize your receipts. I have a folder for my receipts, my business receipts. I have a folder for meal plans, because again, you know, if you want to keep on top of your diet while you're sort of, for example, for me, I'm working full time and also as an entrepreneur and like creator, I have to think through my meals and plan them, because otherwise I will just neglect it. I will neglect myself and not look after my body. So having like meal plans is really helpful. Like, you know, meal inspiration. It sounds so silly, but it just does help out, because you're like, oh, I really don't want to cook this week. Oh, wait a minute, I've got an album full of, you know, meals that I screenshotted from Instagram that I like the look of with their recipes. Like, you've just helped yourself out for another week, and you've helped your body out. And all you had to do was screenshot it and pop it in an album, which takes 3 seconds. It's funny, isn't it, how the short-term, like, annoying things help you so much in the future. Like, I used to get so annoyed about that. I mean, I still do, but I just do it anyway. Like, oh, I don't want to have to put it in the folder. But then I put it in the folder, and then I've signed myself up for, like, you know, an easy future, you know? Especially when you're in that phase of being like an accountant as well, and sorting out your finances, sorting out your, you know, invoices. Have albums for those things. It's so crucial, because you need to be able to pull up like, oh my God, did I pay for this? Oh wait, did this person pay me? Yes, no, I have evidence of that in this album. It's so helpful. And even just like client testimonials, when you're starting out, you need to have testimonials and evidence for you to either put on your website, or for you to kind of maybe post on LinkedIn, of people being satisfied with the service that you provide, the product you provide. If you have an album full of testimonials, you can make an abundant amount of content with that, an abundant amount of PR and advertising and marketing with those testimonials. You could probably make 4 or 5 posts with that. You could make a, you know, part of your website. You could utilize it for sales and having it on your sort of physical marketing or your traditional sort of marketing tools. It's so helpful, and it obviously validates your brand. If this is all scattered all over the place, it's going to stress you out, and you're not going to give yourself the best chance of people hiring you. Following on from that is log your receipts on your bank. I use Monzo, and it's really great because you can add your receipt on there, whether that's something you've paid or something that somebody else has paid you for. And what I love about getting, you know, your finances in check, by the way, this is a crucial thing. You need to be so organized with your finances. Again, I don't know about other apps. I know that Monzo is really good, because what you can do is categorize all your payments and, you know, basically any transactions that are coming in. You can add a note to them, so you can talk about, you know, that particular transaction in more detail. So you remember, oh yeah, I remember what that was. And you can also include receipts. So say if you need to give your accountant in the future, maybe right now you're not able to have an accountant. I'm certainly not. I'm still in that sort of early processes of doing my own accounting. But when you're a business owner, you have to give your tax return in. You have to give your tax return in every year, and you're going to stress yourself out if you do not have your finances and accounts in order. Put the receipts in, label it as part of your business in the categories on your app. I don't know if there are other banks that do this, probably. So categorize it as, you know, for example, I've actually, I think, got Monzo Plus, so I've been able to create my own categories. So I've got one for Hider Club, Hider Creative, my life coaching, and then I've got one for like the umbrella of all of my businesses, which goes under Hider Group. So all the transactions that relate to all of the businesses are helpful for all of the businesses. For example, I use software like Later, and things like storage, so on, are helpful for all my businesses. So that goes under Hider Group. Then there's things like, you know, income from my journals and planners that go in Hider Club. And then there's client invoices that come in for Hider Creative. So I categorize them, so I know when I do go to an accountant who can sort out all my transactions, it's going to be so easy for them, because they're going to be able to see exactly what transaction was related to what, go through all my accounts swiftly and easily. They can see receipts, they can see all the notes just to explain it. I have made not only myself, because I would have to sort through this myself, but their life easier, and they're going to be able to, you know, basically do less labor. So it's such a great thing to be able to do, to be able to log your receipts. And if you can't do that, log it on your albums. Like I said, you know, have an album for receipts pertaining to whatever business you have, whether that's income or outgoings. Have those transactions and screenshot them or take a photo of them. You will save yourself so much grief. You will save yourself so much angst in the future if you sort your finances out. And also for me, another thing I've realized, because like I said, I'm still working part-time, and this video is specifically for those entrepreneurs that are up and coming, those people that are, you know, not quite making enough money, but are just starting out and so on. Have a payday routine. Have a routine that allows you to work out what your priorities are when it comes to your finances. I was paid today, and I have been looking online and doing the research about financial literacy, financial health, and they always say have a payday routine and be very deliberate about your money. This goes without saying. Again, I'm not very good at this, but budgeting for certain things, and don't not budget for things you know you're going to spend money on. Like, I was like, oh, you know, I'm not going to budget for dinners out and enjoying my life and stuff. I'll just focus it all on my businesses and saving. That's just not practical, nor is it realistic. You need to allocate money for things that you know you're going to spend money on, just for living your day-to-day life. Having that budgeted out makes you feel less guilt around money, and then you can think, look, I know I've got this amount to spend disposably, is that the word? And the rest is, you know, for saving, whatever. Think about your goals. What are your long-term goals? And again, this is so hard when we live in a society that sort of relies on instant gratification. You cannot have instant gratification as an entrepreneur. In monetarily, sort of success-wise, being an entrepreneur, being a creator, being an artist takes time. It takes time. It takes years to get to where you want to be, and you have to start thinking about this now. I've been in debt for the past 2 years, and no wonder things haven't necessarily grown at the pace that I want them to grow at, because I just haven't been treating money with respect. When you start treating money with respect, you will find that it kind of flows back to you, and it kind of respects you as well, and not obviously literally, but you end up having a much healthier relationship with money. So categorize, budget, do a monthly budget every month. Sit down and allocate that time in your journal or your diary or whatever it is that plans out your sort of entrepreneurial stuff, and allocate certain amounts for certain things, and include the disposable income, include things that you know you're going to enjoy and you're going to want to spend money on. For example, like meals out or clothes or whatever it might be, allocate money for that, because you're delusional if you think that you're not going to spend money on that. You are. So you might as well not guilt trip yourself and instead have money put aside for those things. But yes, save, allocate money each month for your business. I put away a certain amount of money and I put it into my business account, because I know that I have business expenses. I know that I want to have a float in there for business related stuff. I'm so sorry about the construction. This is so annoying. But just make sure that you have money put aside for your business. Your business isn't going to thrive without some kind of seed money, some kind of income. And the good thing is, if you don't spend all that money that you've deposited, it's going to be there for you to use next month if you need it. So you're going to be like accumulating money without meaning to, like accidentally saving. That's just the fantastic thing about investing a lump sum into an account, because you may not spend it on your business that month, and then you've accumulated it and reserved that specifically for your business. It's a great saving tool, and it's a great thing of like saying to, I guess, the universe, like, I care about my business, I care about my entrepreneurial endeavors, and I want to invest in them, even if it's only, even if it's only a little amount, a token amount, that is still money allocated to your dreams. My final thing is work with people that want experience, work with people that are interested in your brand, want to gain experience in your industry, and, you know, work with them so that you can give them experience, and you can obviously gain experience in working with other people. Something that is very common amongst entrepreneurs is we do it on our own. And I think it's a really lonely experience, but working with other people to bring creativity to life is so great if you can do that. I was very lucky. I had 2 people who were just really creative, who wanted to work with me with Hyder Club and Hyder Creative. So I had one of them on each account, and just practicing or trying different things out with the content, you know, trying out like looks and feed designs, trying out different vibes and just testing out the content. So it was great because they got experience to be able to put on their CV, which is what they wanted. Like, that was their goal. They wanted experience in sort of content creation, social media management, social media strategy. And then obviously it worked well because it meant that I had a little bit of help when it came to creating content, because obviously I'm you know, posting on my personal and then having to post on 2 business accounts. That's just on Instagram, you know. Then there's obviously the dimension of TikTok and then YouTube and so on. So if you are in a position to be able to work with other people where their focus is to get experience and be able to put something on their CV and be able to say that they've, you know, done this so that they can get a job, it can really help you out as well, because you're not only able to practice sort of like getting your creativity out there and like communicating your creativity to other people to then, you know, I guess do some of the bits and bobs, but also you're learning how to be manager, you're able to kind of take some time to, I guess, like watch other people see how your brand could come to life in their eyes creatively. And I think that's a really like beautiful thing to watch. And, you know, you're providing them with experience that they wouldn't ordinarily have. Say if they're like a uni student or something like that. So many uni students, including myself, when I was at uni, I just really wanted experience. You know, in these industries, because it's one of those things, isn't it? It's like, you know, you need experience to get a job, but you need a job to get experience, and so on. So it's like this vicious cycle. But if you're able to kind of like give experience to somebody who wants it, then that's fantastic. And obviously you kind of gain from that as well, because you get a little bit of help along the way and a bit of experience along the way yourself. So yeah, I was really lucky. I had 2 people who helped me out with both my accounts, and it was really, really great. You know, they were really great people. And yeah, I'm just very grateful that I had that for that period of time. So if you can hire help, that's really good as well. I think another thing as well is like I said, putting money aside for your business. Invest in people who will help you save time, or invest in people that will create time for you. So for example, like I have an editor who edits some of my videos, and that's really helpful because it means that I get a little bit more time to focus on other parts of the business, like the administration side that I need to do, but I'm putting off because I'm so focused on the creative side. So helping yourself by investing in other people, asking for other people's help is so, so important. You know, there's such a stigma as well, I think, amongst perfectionists and people who maybe didn't get help as a kid, or feels like getting help is somehow a weakness. It's so important to remove that limiting belief and ask for help and accept help, which I know is really difficult. I struggle with accepting help as well. But you help yourself out when you accept help, and you help yourself out when you accept that you need help, because nobody does this alone. The most successful people did it with other people. They collaborated with other people. They, you know, sought other people's help. They didn't do it alone. And you also deserve that, and you should also, you know, accept it when it's offered, or ask for it when you need it. So getting help from people is like capitalizing on not only your capabilities but their capabilities as well. Like, it's almost like, as well, you know, you don't know everything, and so using other people's help and their expertise is like adding on value to your brand, because you wouldn't have ordinarily known how to do these things or be particularly sort of good in those particular areas, like editing, for example, but they are, and that's their expertise, and they're going to build and add value to your brand when you ask for help and invest in them. Anyway, that's it for today's video. I hope you found it helpful. Tell me please down in the comments your experiences with what has helped you grow as a business, what's helped you grow as a creator, the mechanisms you've put in place to help yourself out in the future, help future you out. I really want to know. But anyway, with that, I hope you have a fantastic remainder of your day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.